This kid is very powerful. Peter was forced by a group of pirates to stand on wooden board at a height of thousands of meters. Immediately after that, something even scarier happened. A strangely dressed black-bearded captain walked straight towards the boy and looked at him cold eyes. Peter knew that this time, he was cruel and cruel. Peter knew that this time, he was less good and more careful. As expected, he turned around and kicked the boy into the abyss without feeling guilty. When Peter was about to touch the ground, the miracle happened again under everyone's watchful eye. The boy was floating in the air again. Black Rose saw this scene and knew that you could find the fairy kingdom that had appeared in a place called Neverland. There was a fairy prince who fell in love with a beautiful girl. Winning the love of the girl, the prince used his lifespan of several thousand years to exchange for a human form in one day. And at the same time, Pirate King Black Rose fiercely knew that the woman he loved had fallen in love with the fairy prince Black Rose, angrily leading an army of pirates to frantically mine crystallized fairy dust, searching for the whereabouts of the fairy tale kingdom. The fairy prince didn't want their child to encounter any misfortune. The two of them had to take the child to a human orphanage, so the baby gradually grew up in a dark orphanage until one stormy night, something strange happened. A group of strange people pretending to be pirates suddenly flew down from the sky and captured all the sleeping boys. Say Peter was no exception. The boy was captured on a giant pirate ship when the pirates went out. Bishop ordered the giant ship to be able to move in the night sky, but the pirates on the ship were extremely overbearing. Even when faced with strong firepower from the Air Force, they were not afraid at all. They shouted loudly. And then the pirate ship was able to fly straight up again at breakneck speed. They passed through the last stratosphere of the atmosphere, rushing straight into the vast universe. The scene before his eyes made Peter extremely shocked. In the universe, the boy lost gravity. Everything was extremely new to the boy. The ship suddenly dropped suddenly. There, they seemed to fall into the Milky Way, into a magical, translucent world. That right, this is Neverland. But who would have thought that in the depth of this beautiful landscape, a scary dark corner was hidden? Is also where they are about to go when the pirate ship slowly moves forward. They come to an extremely large mine. This strangely dressed man is the leader here, the Pirate King, the black-bearded captain. He has dominated this place for hundreds of years. The reason is because there is a magical substance here called, and it has the ability to make people young, so they can be immortal for hundreds of years. He has continuously captured it. There were a number of boys from all over, so they could exploit the ginseng wallet for him. Obviously Peter was one of them. Even though he was forced here to do hard labor, there was still a fight between everyone for the government part. The boy was falsely accused. Stealing ginseng, Peter is about to face a scary punishment. Which is also the scene at the beginning of the video where the real adventure officially begins, when Peter learns that he can fly and a man named but decided to take Peter away. They did big things thanks to their friend Smee helping them successfully fly a flying ship in space despite being constantly chased by pirates. They finally overcame the prison and successfully escaped from the prison control. Could it be that they are safe? And no, who would have thought that they avoided the watermelon jar and immediately encountered a coconut jar, a strange forest. 3 people encountered a giant bird that looked like a skull. The natives gave it a hat. A few people were taken by the bird to mysterious tribe. No matter how they explained it, the people in the tribe still thought that they were evil pirates and wanted to get out of here alive. Defeated their Ben, and Ben is the bravest soldier here. Ben is extremely fast and agile. He used a special posture to appear in front of him. He dresses strangely but can stand on top of them. This special posture of a piece of wood, just looking at it, you know you shouldn't mess with it. Ben still uses it. His is quick and easy to knock down in a moment. But a young man like Benin hasn't even thought about his life yet. He angrily jumps up to the high steps to signal, using one move to determine victory or defeat. He had to agree to fight, but a middle-aged man like him was no match for the young man. When he was about to lose his life, Peter watched and couldn't leave it alone anymore. The boy quickly jumped on Benin back. Seeing this, Ben had no intention of doing so. With his hands, he threw Peter into the air as the boy fell, barely breathing. At this dangerous moment, the patriarch suddenly roared loudly. Everyone looked at the rope in his hand. The patriarch turns out that just now the patriarch accidentally picked up the pen necklace around Peter's neck, and there is an ancient property here that the person who owns the pen necklace will be able to lead them to civilization to test it, prove the authenticity of the prophecies in 3 days. Peter must fly up into the air, otherwise, it will be difficult for them to escape. The fate of being executed, no matter how hard Peter tries, they don't know how to make the last miracle happen again. Happened again when the boy was extremely desperate. Something no one explained happened. A disaster was coming to them. Peter opened his eyes and suddenly saw countless pirates had come to this tribe and they began to invade the place. Not long after, all the people in the tribe were controlled by the black-bearded captain. Is there no hope? No. Peter quickly climbed up the mountain to look for the fairy bird. He climbed on the fairy bird, but at this moment he spoke. Blackbeard gun was pointed in front of Princess Tiger Lily Jordan chest, threatening them to reveal the location of the fairy kingdom, but they were very brave and refused to tell. They used their lives to protect this place. The fairy bird suddenly arrived in time. The ferocious bird began to rush straight at the tribe. Seeing that the opportunity had come, he rescued the princess. This time, it was very dark. They also did not support their attack on the clan defense, finding a mysterious map that can go to the fairy tale kingdom. They wants to quickly get there before Black Rose and Peter and the other decided to take the risk and follow Tiger instructions to start going to the fairy tale kingdom, where many magical things are hidden. They didn't expect the final war to break out and they didn't expect the road to get there to be so difficult. At this time, Peter suddenly heard a special sound under the water. The boy stared at the dark water and suddenly there was a giant crocodile. The giant suddenly jumped out of the water, causing Peter to fall into the cold lake. Could it be that the boy would lose his life? Peter was about to suffocate in the dark lake. Suddenly, 3 beautiful mermaids appeared. They used electric current in the water. The tail chased away the giant crocodile. Immediately after that, they looked closely at Peter. Appearance as if to confirm his identity. Then the 3 mermaids pulled Peter to the surface of the lake and looked at Tien, who had disappeared under the dark lake with helpless eyes. It was at this moment that he looked up and saw a juggle ship on the water. Owning his own ship was his lifelong dream. Maybe because he was so happy, he didn't want to search for the isolated kingdom anymore, so he gave up. Again, Peter and Tiger piloted the ship and disappeared in the vast sky. The 2 people were left behind. After going through countless difficulties, they finally found a wall engraved with many mysterious symbols. Who would have thought that at the same time, Blackbeard also leading the pirates to the wall. He had lived for thousands of years, of course knowing that the Ben necklaces on Peter's neck was the key to opening the door to the fairy tale kingdom. Immediately after that, his Blackbearded took the necklace and plugged it into the lock on the wall. The key was inserted just right into the door of the fairy kingdom. When the key moved, the lock contained many ginseng screws. Taking it down, Blackbeard knew that it was this scent. He smelled a scent that made him that crazy thing is the smell of immortality. Black Rose excitedly lit up Peter and Tiger on the boat and then took the pirates straight into the legendary fairy tale kingdom. Countless spirits flew across the sky after seeing Peter. They seemed to be he used his own way to welcome his master back. At this time, Aroden had lost all will. He ordered to destroy all the spirit around here. Peter could not bear to see this scene of innocent spirit continuing like this. Sacrificing himself in front of little Peter had to beg Blackbeards. The little boy volunteered to use his life so that he would stop killing the spirit. It was impossible that when Blackbeards was about to swing his sword to slash Peter, at that moment the pirate's ship suddenly was hit hard by another giant ship, turned out to be rammed, but still decided to return to fight with Peter and Tiger saw that rescues had arrived. Peter immediately jumped on his ship, but the brave girl Tianchi and Tiger left, standing on a tall wooden board dueling with Blackbeard. After a while Blackbeard disappeared that he was not Tiger opponent. He quickly cut the rope on the wooden board. Combined with the force of the collision between the 2 ships, Tiger just like that, flying away from the ramming side is also very dangerous. The bishop jump onto the ramming boat, looking at his muscles. He know that the ramming attack is nothing. Bishop's Peter is helping to ram the boat. Seeing that Tiger is in danger, the boy abandons the ship. No hesitation he jumped on the train, but little did he know that this action would cause very serious consequences. Indeed, his boat lost control and crashed hard into a giant obstacle. All the wooden beams were broken. This intense howling friction caused the ship to break apart. At that moment, although ramming temporarily saved his life, he knew that sooner or later he would fall to the bottom. Indeed, ramming used up all his last strength. He fell into the abyss right in front of Peter's eyes. At this moment, Peter's eyes suddenly become extremely determined. The boy jumped down and rushed towards the enemy. Now Tiger was the only one left. She was quickly blinded by Blackbeard enemy, a main pillar at a moment when they were hanging by a thread. They saw 2 silhouettes passing through the sky. Turned out that Peter had finally activated his power and once again created a miracle, rammed to a safe place, then immediately flew towards Blackbeard pirate's ship. Peter was now completely awakened. The boy was no longer a weak child, but turned into the fairy prince of this place. Peter summoned him. Countless sprits obeyed Peter's orders and waited for the order to attack. They surrounded the pirate ship and then Peter threw a punch. Why did countless Dong Lat spirit descend with such enormous power that the pirate ship was immediately destroyed, and in the end, only Blackbeard was still holding Tiger hostage. Peter saw this and immediately raised his hand. Blackbeard was pressed down on the ship by number of spirit. No matter how much he struggled, he couldn't move. Finally, Peter took Tiger out of the ship deck and flew in the air, watching Blackbeard and his pirate ship fall into the abyss of the mystical fairy tale kingdom. From there, Peter became the bravest warrior of this place. Everyone calls the boy Peter Pan because he can fly, so he is also called Knight Peter Pan. This is the end of the movie. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new movie. Bye.